Okay, welcome. So today in this video, what I'm going to talk to you about. Look, if you're watching this video, you're a filmmaker, creative, building a video agency, creative in any space. I just want you to know that if you're broke, this has to be, in my eyes, dealing with over 80 agencies a day, doing one-to-one coaching sessions, getting insights that most of you would not have due to the fact that I'm a coach and I get to see what everyone's problems are. The number one problem that I'm seeing is this, okay, of the reason why you are struggling financially. If you are struggling financially to attract a higher level client, premium budgets, then this video is for you. You would be an absolute fool not to watch all the way through. And today what we're going to talk about is belief, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this presentation and share with you my thoughts around why this is so important. But before we do, what I want to talk about is your symptoms of having a weak belief system. Now, belief system in its truest definition is the acceptance of something. Acceptance of something exists or true, especially without need of proof. The best example is religion. I'm not going to get into the religious aspects of belief in terms of religion, but I'm going to talk to you about how this is affecting your bottom line. This is how it's affecting your revenue. And if you're not attracting clients and you're not got a great lead generation system and you are having problems in marketing, you're having problems obtaining consistent work, this is something for you. Now, the symptoms. This is how you know you've got a weak belief system. So not being good enough. So if you think that your work is not good enough, you think your offer is not good enough, you think your marketing is not good enough, in any area of your business, if you believe that it's not good enough, this is a major symptom. Consistent need to please clients. Now, pleasing clients, of consistently doing that, again, trickles into not being enough. Just be careful with that one. But if you have this is a symptom. Apologizing, feeling at fault. That goes without saying. Consistent price concessions. So people coming to you, always asking for a discount, always basically tapping you up and saying, hey, can I get this cheaper? It's one of the biggest symptoms of not having a great belief system. Conflict avoidance, so you're trying to avoid any conflict. Self-conscious, you're always needing something outside of yourself to validate your work, your offer. Always seeking external validation is a major symptom that you've got a weak belief system. Clients are always taking control, and this is not only detrimental to yourself but also to your bottom line. Most premium clients like to be led. They don't want to be in control. And the big one here, especially for you newcomers into the industry, imposter syndrome. And even some of you that have been 5-10 years in still are suffering with imposter syndrome because you just haven't brought to attention your belief system. Now, what I found, the major problem that this has on video agencies, and I've been through this, like I know because like I've done it. I've had weak belief systems around my business, and this is what it's resulted in. It always attracts a lower end client. And one of the reasons why it happened to me is because it made me feel safe. If I'm dealing with somebody or someone that's important or someone that's premium, it just makes you feel scared to get it wrong because you don't believe. But if you deal with a lower end client, you can take that on because if you fuck it up, it doesn't really matter. Like in your eyes, it's just a lower end client. And so it gives you that element of safety. And that's one of the reasons why that happens. You get inconsistent sales and leads because you haven't maybe picked a niche. You haven't believed in the niche. You haven't believed in your attention mechanisms. You haven't believed in your offer. You haven't believed in your sales process. And so this affects all the consistency that goes on in your business. And this is a big one. Clients take advantage. Now, when I was starting out, this happened to me in the first sort of year and sort of 2 years. Clients just fully take advantage of me. And like, I look back on it and they owe me thousands, but it wasn't their fault. It was my fault. I was completely and utterly tolerating it. You get what you tolerate. So I just had a weak belief system. So a lot of you think that your talent is going to be everything and that's just going to fix it. It's not. Talent is not enough. If you don't believe in your offer, you don't believe that what you're doing is demonstrating high value, if you don't have your team around you and they can't, if your team is around you and they feel you don't believe in what you're doing, you lack purpose, you lack direction, it just trickles into your confidence. It just isn't enough just to say, I've got talent, and then that's it. So the brain is a very powerful thing, and what we tell ourselves is what, if we look here, perception is reality. So we have to make sure that we look at our brains and understand that our brains are a powerful weapon. My mom always says to me, she says, Michael, be careful what you tell yourself, because what you tell yourself will become real. And so when we look at the brain, there's a lot of chemicals going on in the brain. And so the two good ones that I particularly like is dopamine and oxytocin. These, the oxytocin is probably the best one because it's the love drug, it's the empathy drug, it's the one that sort of the chemical that goes off that makes you feel really, really good. Dopamine, you have to be careful with this because this can be a lot of the reasons why you're not settled in your business, because you're just chasing that dopamine high. But you have to look into the brain and understand that there is good chemicals and there is bad chemicals. And we have to be careful with what we're feeding ourselves, because it can destroy or corrupt our belief system on a major level. So before I move any further, I want to bring your attention to Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, I love him. Alrighty then. He's fantastic. But he is someone that pretty quickly early on in his career figured out that having a solid belief system would build revenue. He got rich on it. And for those of you that are struggling financially, I mean, this is for you. So there's more to Jim Carrey than just this piece, and it's only 46 seconds long, and I'm going to play it for you. You may not hear it very well due to the microphone setup that I've got, but you'll be able to read what he's saying, and you should be able to catch it. Just turn up your volume. But he also went on to writing a check to himself. I think it was for $1 million or plus or something. And in that year that he did it, I think he made that money because he carried it around with him every single day and looked at it in his wallet. So there's little things you can do like that that can actually enhance your belief system. But this is how important it is. So I'm going to play this to you. I'm going to put the microphone down by the speakers and see if you guys can hear. But have a listen.
I have an insane belief in my own ability to manifest things. Insane belief. I think it's ultimately complete sanity. I believe we're creators, and I believe we create with every thought and every word. Every moment is pregnant with the next moment of your life. We all start out with a false belief about ourselves, with some untrue thing that we believe walking through our lives. I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm gonna fail. Whatever your basic mistaken belief about yourself is, you form a personality around. It's the grain of sand in the oyster. So I form characters that way a lot of times. I'll ask myself, what's the speck of sand?
So he's someone that's sort of bringing into our attention that belief is super important. And he's proven it. I mean, there's a lot of other people that talk about this. And I just don't think as creatives we put enough emphasis on it. As I said, the definition is just accepting something that's real without any evidence. It's a knowingness. It's a knowing that what you're doing is the right thing. It's knowing that you're delivering high value. It's knowing you have a premium offer. It's knowing that you're working with the right niche. We're going to talk about niching later on in this series, in the 30K challenge, but knowing that you have the right marketing system, knowing that you have the right attention mechanisms, knowing that you have the best sales processes. These are things that if you can come at it with a knowingness, it's even further than just believing and selling sort of the concept to you. It's actually like, I just know. I haven't met a creative person that's doing over 50K to 6 figures a month that doesn't have a rock solid belief system, that is just doing it purely based on talent. They have a knowingness in their heart that what they're doing is amazing, is working, they're giving more than what they're getting, and them things really matter. So I'm going to bring your attention to Harvard because I think we need to talk. And I'm only going to read one statement out. You can pause the video and read the rest. But when you believe, it comes out in your body. Now, nuance is so important. It comes out in your body language, tone of voice, and facial expression. This is what I mean by nuance. So if you are even faking it till you make it, which you should be doing, I don't disagree with that method. I think that method kind of work. It's worked for me in some cases, particularly if you're feeling off. But even great liars can't fake it for very long. they always give it away somehow. Poker players call this the tell. It's how you know someone's bluffing. They may shift in their seat, play with their ring, or otherwise reveal a lack of sincerity. And look, nothing sells more than sincerity. You can learn all the tactics in the world, and sincerity will always out-trump. And how do we get to sincerity? How do we get to being real? How do we get to supreme, genuinity when we're talking to clients? Because this is the big thing. Like, we at Clout will always help you with strategies. We will give you tactics. We will give you ways to structure a call. All these things will obviously help. But the baseline of what I'm saying here is that genuinity is the number one thing you need. Now, I'm going to sort of prove this to you through a story. This guy's called Zig Ziglar, and he was an older school guy that was helping entrepreneurs sell their services better. I don't particularly listen to him now because there's better material out there, and I think a lot of his stuff was very, very sort of salesy, but he told a story of two salespeople. One was an average salesperson and one was an excellent, renowned, always hit above targets, just kicked ass, was amazing at what he did. And they were selling kitchen appliances to hotels. So these were deals that were going for hundreds of thousands of dollars because they were selling full kitchens, like multiple story kitchen. In a hotel you have many kitchens, restaurants and them sort of things. And the average guy was absolutely kicking his ass. In fact, he was just outperforming everybody. And they called Zig in to sort of figure out what the hell is going on, because we've got a top salesperson here. He's not performing. What is happening? He understands tactics. He understands methods. He's read every book under the sun. He understands human psychology. But this average guy is kicking his ass. Well, when they did the investigation, Zig found out that basically the average guy actually owned some of the compliances. So he was selling from a space of 100% sincerity and belief, where the other guy didn't. And so obviously to fix it, they just made sure that the guy owned some of the kitchen facilities. But this is a very, very good lesson for you to think about and ponder on, about how much sincerity is around your offer and your sales and what you're actually doing. How much belief do you have? And so the next part that I want to talk to you about is the 4 pillars of belief. Now, these things to me are the most important things in business. These are the truest. Like, if one of these goes down, you put a crack in this, crack in that, the whole thing comes down. Just one of these goes out, you're fucked, essentially. So the first one is niche. Niching is becoming a specialist. We want to be a heart specialist, right? If you don't believe in your industry, then your industry is going to feel it. If you don't believe in your offer and you don't have 100% belief in your offer, then people are going to feel it. And it's typically in the nuance is where they're going to feel it. Your attention, your marketing, your message to market, your content, your video content. If you are just sort of regurgitating other people's stuff, you're not believing in what you're saying, you're just doing what's on trend, you're not behind it, the world will feel it. If you look at people that are sort of going viral, or people that are doing really well in terms of clout and building clout and attention, it's because they're 100% authentically being themselves. I can't name or think of a person that's got large amounts of attention, that's in that sort of influencing space, that isn't 100% being themselves. And that's because they believe what they're saying. Sales is exactly the same thing. Obviously, if you don't believe in your sales processes, it's going to trickle through. Now, I'm going to read this to you. Belief ignites and activates everything. Talent isn't enough. Training isn't enough. You must be fully engaged mentally. The highest level of performance requires the deepest level of belief. It bears repeating. The elite win in their mind first. As I said to you, I deal with a lot of creative people, a lot of filmmakers, a lot of video production, producers, directors, and we're not talking small beginners. We're talking people that are working with celebrities, people that are working with Fortune 500 companies, and I'm telling you, a lack of belief is where they think that it's a system. They think it's this, they think it's that. But when you check them and you actually go deep into it, it's that they just don't simply believe in what they're actually doing. And it destroys your business. So how do we fix it? Well, The first thing we need to do, and you need to ask yourself, is if you've picked a niche, which you should have picked a niche, and particularly if you're going to come over to Clout, we're going to help you. It's one of the biggest business decisions, so that's why Clout exists. It's one of the reasons why Clout exists, helping you get into a niche. It's part of our program, our signature program. But niching is so important. And so the way we do it, we use the Ikigai method. And so we use it, do you love it? And so back in the day, I always asked myself, who do I love working with? I always loved working with entrepreneurs or change makers, of them kind of descriptions. And then I boiled it down because that was still too generalized. I went into sort of speakers, anybody that was speaking and consulting. This was the type of clients that I liked working with. And I loved working with them because they were visionary. I just enjoyed it. Their biggest problem was they couldn't get the vision out of their mind so that other people could see what they see. So I would help them with that by humanizing them. And then it's like, would the world pay for it? So would that niche pay for it? Well, they needed to humanize. They needed trust. They needed perceived value. They needed sales assets for the whole client acquisition infrastructure. And they would use these brand videos and place them in the right moments of the customer journey to advance their sales. So, of course, they would pay for it. And did they need it? Did they pay for it? And then I got lost there. And then, was I good at it? Now, I wasn't good at it in the beginning. I actually wasn't. The way I sort of fixed that was by just literally getting good at interviews first. I got more into the psychology of the interview. Then I learned how to light. Then I learned how to sort of film better, compose better. And then I sort of went into B-roll, and then I learned about B-roll, and then I started putting it all together, and then eventually I just created a great product and got really good at it. And so if you are picking a niche or you're questioning your belief around your niche, the very first place I would go to is, do you love it? This is the first place you would go. Do you love the people you interact with on a daily basis? Or are you just picking a niche because it's on trend or because you just think it's a monetary thing? But if you love it and the world needs it and they will pay for it and you're good at it, then you have a good niche. And this would fix your belief with time. So a lot of people chase the dopamine, as I said before, about changing niches. Oh, if I change a niche, or I'm too scared to do it because if I lose, and the lack of belief, a lot of the big belief where niching becomes the biggest problem is because you think you're going to lose opportunities. Well, you won't lose opportunities. You can't lose opportunities if you're specialized and you are committed into the niche. The fear is, if I say I only work with this type of people, that I'm going to lose business. What I've seen, and this is something you can get from me because I work with other creative people, filmmakers, is that typically it 3x's your business. It's a little bit like a heart specialist, right? So if you got a heart problem, you don't want to see a general doctor, you want to see a heart specialist. Why would it be any different? If you're listening to me, you know I specialize in filmmaking, helping filmmakers get 30K projects. Okay? 2 seconds. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna cut my... There we go. Okay, so that's the first one. The second pillar of belief is your offer. For me, delivery was the backbone of belief, confidence in sales. I built my confidence in the delivery. Now, obviously, delivery is where you're going to build your belief around your offer. That's how I built mine. I just made sure that I built it really, really well. So I would make a sale, and I would get that sale, particularly if you're starting out or if you're just sort of looking for a new, fresh offer. I would do it based on assumption and research. They're the two things that I would use. So I would ring around, I would ask, I would, especially if it was brand spanking new, I would ask, and then I would research forums, them type of things, look for pain points. Pain is where you pretty much will get... If you can solve problems, that's where the money gets made, right? Solving problems and delivering burning desires from your client and your niche, you're going to be good. The problem is that, and what I see with a lot of video agencies, is that they deliver the video, but they don't collect any insights to go back and refine the offer. And this is how you build a bank of belief. It's called the offer feedback loop that we use. And basically, it's just collecting insights. Insights is how you build... Believe it or not, insights is probably one of the most important things that you are neglecting and don't realize. This is how you make your millions and millions of dollars. This is how you make millions of dollars. This is how you build a $10 million agency. It's just genuinely finding what is working and what is not, and then having a systematic approach of how to collect that data so that you can go back and refine the offer. Because the more you do this, the more your belief goes up, but the more you get an easier sale because the offer's working. You're collecting case studies. Things are working. You refine it each and every time. And I don't care where you capture these insights, whether it's on your phone, your notes. I use the Google Doc with a spreadsheet because I always bad, good, or great results, no matter if they were bad. And I would encourage bad ones because bad ones would save me from making more bad mistakes. This is where it needs to be. You need to collect insights. Insights are things like, did it work, Mr. Client? What was the process like? What was the experience like? What was the outcome? Did we solve the problem? Is there more needed? Was there more needed in the offer? Created a brand story, but did you get enough traffic to it? Them kind of things are really, really important. And that's how you build your belief around your offer. Attention is really about, attention, depending on what your attention mechanisms are. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be that you put out video content. It could be that you're creating a podcast. It could be that you're doing nothing, right? But you've got to do something, and you've got to stick at it, right? The reason why video content is so important, we've got to learn to eat our own dog food, but video important is that you're watching this right now. I don't know whether you're laying down on the toilet, whether you're sitting at your desk, because you're avoiding something, so you're watching this. No matter where you're watching it, I'm reaching you in probably a different country. I'm in Dubai, so wherever you are, I'm reaching you. There's a reason that's powerful. It's more leverage, right? So instead of me just ringing you and constantly ringing you, you're seeing me, and the same can happen for you. You put out content, it gives you the biggest form of leverage. But the reason people don't do it is because they don't have the consistency around it, or they have cracks around their belief. You've got to believe in your message first and foremost. You've got to have some kind of philosophy around, or creative sort of methodology that you believe in, or some kind of, and typically where your content will come from is your offer. It'll come around your offer and your niche. So it'll be newsworthy stuff around that. It would be case studies around what you've done around your offer and what you've actually made. It could be testimonials. It could be insights. It could be windows to improve the industry in terms of what video content they could. But this is where you sort of you have to believe in what you're saying, and then you have to mix in consistency as well. So month one, it's great, everyone likes you because your mum, your dad, your friends, family are like, oh yeah, I can see you doing video. And then the second one is starts to die off. Month three is when it sort of tanks. You just can't be arsed with it. You think it's not working, but I'm telling you, if you keep at it for a year, this is where you'll start to see a shift in your business, because you need to be creating attention. If you're not actively seeking attention, then you're going to have a major problem. So consistency and believing in what you're actually saying in terms of your content is the key to this. And it's about not being the plumber with leaky taps, meaning we need to eat our own dog food. If we're selling clients that they need video, we also need to be putting video out as well. Sales is the way to fix your belief around sales is to look at your bank account. Your bank account will reflect that. Now, obviously, a lot of things like niching down, offer, and attention, if you get these right and they're 100% on point, this one becomes a lot more easier. This becomes more like an order taker. You become more like an order taker than an actual salesman per se. And if you're working with us at Clout, we actually don't believe in turning you into a car salesman. We believe in a concept called doctoring. We believe in asking the right questions, creating internal pressure, and we actually customize, your script. We actually help you develop your whole entire sales process. So we also review your sales calls, and we also help you build an offer on your second call, which is on the first call, it's about collecting information or an information gathering session. And then the second one is a strategy call, which we help you with. But if you don't have the means to join Clout and you can't get into Clout, that's fine. Just understand that you're going to need to put a little bit more time and effort into believing in your niche, believing in your offer, and believing in your intention. So it's believing in your message, using our offer feedback loop to consistently be going after them insights and making sure at the very core you love and there is money there and you're pretty good at it and the world needs what you have. If you get these three things right, the sales process should take care of itself. But the biggest belief that your sales is working is your bank account. Okay, so just to reflect, I'm just going to give you a quick reflection on this. So niching down, we use the Ikigai market research, and this is one that I didn't mention, which is proof. Case studies are great for content to put out on your website. It's great to put up on your socials. It's great to use them in sales, into your sales process, like actually breaking down a case study. But they're also very good for you, yourself. Having as many case studies as you can for you and your team is one of the best things you can do, because it strengthens the belief. I'm constantly telling my team, let me know when a client's got a win. Why? Because I want to believe in more and have a very strong, supreme belief system. Because I know if I have weakness in my niche, if I have weakness in my offer, if I have belief that just isn't strong, it's going to affect my revenue. So your offer is based on your delivery. So having a good delivery and refining and collecting the feedback and the insights, and then just refining that offer and consistently building that out so it gets better and better and better. Your retention is about your response. I didn't really speak about this, but when you know that your belief is on point with attention, it's the tonality of the way people speak to you when you're building clout, which is the end result. Clout meaning influence, persuasion, credibility, visibility. Once you have clout, you can see that people will start to talk to you different. The way to fix your belief around it is just make sure you believe what you're saying wholeheartedly, care more about helping people than actually looking good or sounding good, care more about your fucking giving to people than anything. Don't care about the way you look. Don't care about how you sound. Don't care. Nobody likes to look at themselves back. I can't stand myself on video, but I care more about what I'm saying than do I sound good. And that's where the difference is that if you concentrate on just helping serve your niche, using your attention methods to serve, that's when you can start to see that your clout will start to grow. And again, you'll start to see a better response. You'll feel like you walk into a room, when you know you've got your attention on point is when you walk in a room and people do know your name and you don't know their name. That's a really good sign that's working. And then sales is the confidence. Obviously, confidence comes from all these three things lined up beautifully. Confidence will come through that. Trust, and then close deals. Your bank account is the biggest reflection. Okay, so I am going to do more content around this. I do want to bring your attention to what it means and when you have this on point and when this is actually dealt with. The people, I'm just going to read, again, Harvard. I was looking at Harvard and just, they've done a lot of case studies on this sort of stuff. And I think it's important that we see this. So I'll just read this one paragraph. The people who really feel successful get their success as much from the process as the end result. So they're actually enjoying their day-to-day because they believe in their business, they believe in their offer, they believe in what they're actually doing. You feel more purposeful when you have that. Yes, they may want more money, power, and status, but they get it in ways they enjoy, so they feel successful along the way. Really thoughtful people use a balanced scorecard approach and consider friendships, community, family, and yes, doing something they believe in is essential ingredients to a good life. Look, you can pause the video and read the whole thing, but basically it's saying at the top here, many people think that their success of making a lot of money, getting a lot of status, and having a lot of power, in turn it's wrong. The success is in the day-to-day. Your success is actually when you feel purposeful and believe that your business is something of great service and valuable. And I can't stress this to you enough. Having a solid, strong belief system does more for you than just building revenue. It actually gives you a sense of purpose and direction, which is really important. So these are the symptoms of you having a good, strong belief system. If you already have this, then well done. But you shouldn't be even watching this video because you should be making a ton of money anyway. You shouldn't even need us. So high belief system, brand clarity and direction. You know exactly where you're going, what you're doing. That's one symptom. Another symptom is immense willpower. When things get hard, you don't give up. You just keep going. Your resilience and focused. You are focused on what you're doing. You're not easily distracted. You're not getting wooed by your sort of human desires and needs of hunger and thirst and, everything else that you do to numb yourself. and your client trusts you. Now, this is a big one. Clients trust will pay a lot of money. They'll let you lead. They will just ask for your, consultation. They will not pretty much, like a lot of my clients won't even make a move on their website without consulting me first. And so this is super important. Having these sort of belief things is that, one, it will help you fall in love with the product. Not only will it help you make a ton of money and get you way better quality clients, but it will actually help you fall in love with your day-to-day, fall in love with the process. And the result is this. And this is what I found when I fixed my belief system around my agency, was that I got to control the creative. I had more fulfilling work. I dealt with problems head on. I didn't avoid them. Stillness is my ultimate goal in life. For those of you that know me, being still and present with loved ones and with my clients and in my day-to-day is my ultimate goal. It's one of the reasons why I built Clout Academy, was because I want to help more creative people get more white space, more calm in their body, eradicate fear. Clients that appreciate, there's nothing better than having delivering a project to a client and they appreciate you, and then you're already talking about the next project. You'll attract high-paying clients, and you'll have internal validation and have zero price concessions, meaning people will never ask you for a discount. They will know your worth, and they will literally pay you, and you will attract really high clients. Now, for those of you that are in natural born storytellers, I'm going to give you some more content around this, interviews, worksheets, etc. For those of you on YouTube that don't know what natural born storytellers is, check it out in the link below. We've also got our signature program, which is Clout Academy. And guys, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I highly recommend it. If you're a creative, a filmmaker, producer, director, freelancer, videographer, and you are trying to build your business, I highly recommend that you subscribe to us, because we are just going to drop some really good information that should help in areas like this, like niching down, building an incredible offer, getting attention and building your clout, and then obviously your sales and showing you how to get better sales. But this lesson here around belief is probably one of the most important things, but the most undervalued. Like, no one really understands what's going on. They think it's some kind of secret bullet system that you need to find, or some kind of marketing hack. And a lot of it comes down to your unbelievable, unshakable belief system. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. Show me something on YouTube that this is good, because I'm going to make more. Obviously, it helps the channel grow, helps us get more traction, it helps more filmmakers like yourself. And thanks for watching. Talk soon.